What I want to do right now is to take this thing for the test drive, check the brakes, check the alignment, my first alignment ever. Hopefully this goes well. I really don't know. I'm also gonna bring the scanner with me just to see if the modules have set. Maybe we can go get this thing smog today. Fingers crossed. Welcome back to another episode of Broke Mirror, guys. If you are new to the channel and you like seeing cars go from being worth $500 to $5,000 in a short amount of time, then you're in the right place. Make sure to go down, hit the subscribe button, and make sure to click the notification bell. This way you get alerted when I put out 2 a week. If you're not new to the channel, then you know that my previous episode, we kind of reviewed how I did for the past year, what I made on all the cars, and then what cars I'm still trying to get done. The Tucson is definitely that car. So my goal for today, if you are new to the channel, I've got a 2005 Tucson with 136,000 miles. I purchased it for $700 and I've done almost everything possible to this thing. It has tires, it has struts, it has a new paint, it has a new head gasket, new timing chain, water pump, thermostat, and radiator. This thing has been done. Like, there's almost nothing left. I've done the power steering fluid. Haven't done the transmission fluid yet. I might have to. We'll have to see how it shifts after I do the next job. The next job is I want to go and get an ABS module from the junkyard. This thing has been no easy feat. I'm really hoping to get it all set up and done today. It's a little late in the day. I kind of slept in a bit. I ended up working on the previous episode till like 5 in the morning. So it's a little late. Hopefully I can get down there, get it, get out of there. But basically I don't even know if they still have it. Hopefully they do. If they do have it, I want to take it out quick, run back here, try to shove that thing back into the car and try to bleed the brakes tonight. That's a lot to do. I don't have that much daylight left. Daylight savings time switched as well, so we're even losing more light. We'll see what we can done in the next couple of hours. Anyway, I want to get after it, start heading down to the junkyard. See you guys there. All right guys, it is the next day. I got the ABS module, so I want to go down and start cleaning this thing up. I first want to go down, try to clean this out, and then if that goes well, I'm gonna start installing it. So I'm gonna get after it. See you guys in a bit. All right, I think you saw that I was able to check all the valves. They're all open. I did realize that there is a lower compression to the rear, which makes sense. Normally brakes are about 40-60, sometimes 70-30 from the front to the rear, from what I understand. So I'm not as concerned about the limited air. I'm just glad that there's a decent amount moving through all the valves. I did end up switching the valve body over in the old one to this. I don't even know why I put this one back together, but I ended up switching them simply because I realized, if you look at these, although the part number and assembly numbers are the same, they are identified. Each one of these are different codes and names, which means they're probably set up to the VIN, just like the Dodge Durango, and I don't want to go through the hassle. Now, I also ended up switching the magnets. I wasn't going to, but then I read that these also have 2 different codes. And although the rest of the things match up, so this is probably just like a production date code, I'm still concerned that if this one wore out a little more than this one, or the bushes are worn out a little bit more on this one than that one, that whatever this module was used to reading and stored will read different. I'm not sure if it works that way. Probably doesn't, but I figured it would just be better safe than sorry to match everything up to be the same. So could be totally wrong. I don't think it is, but now what I would like to do is to install this thing back into the car. I did realize after getting it out that it makes more sense to install the bracket that holds it and then put in the module. I tried to take out the bracket and module at the same time. That was an error on my part. I didn't realize there was little Allen key fat bolt heads that I could have used to take out just the module. So I'm gonna install the bracket first, maybe leave it a little loose, then put in the module, then put in the lines, then probably mount everything up. So that's my goal. It's getting a little dark out. Hopefully we can get it done. See you guys in a bit. All right guys, it is the next morning. I was able to get the ABS module put back in just like in the nick of time right before it got dark. Now what I want to do is to try to bleed the brakes, and then hopefully if I can get them bled good, then we'll go on our test drive. I'm hoping to see any type of fluid come out of that rear driver's side brake caliper. It'll make me feel so good if I see something. So I should. I'm probably gonna go pick up some more brake fluid because I imagine I'm gonna have to go through a decent amount to get all the air bubbles out of the system. Not quite sure how much I have to go through, but I imagine a good amount. So I'm gonna head to the store quick, and then I'll probably just catch up with you guys when I'm actually bleeding the system. See you down there. All right guys, all the brakes are bled. I think you saw that I finally got some brake fluid to that rear driver's side brake caliper. I'm very excited. I got a lot of old fluid out of that line. I'm very happy about how this is going so far. The last thing I want to do is I noticed that the power steering fluid is leaking from the power steering fluid tank on the lower attachment hose. I think that's probably from me moving it about. So what I want to do is try to either remove that hose, clean it up, maybe put some cellophane in there, along with put on a hose clamp, like old school screw-on hose clamp, instead of those little compression fittings. I'm thinking, I know those hoses kind of dry rot out eventually, especially with a lot of heat to them. So they kind of felt stiff when I was messing with them. And when I yanked off the one at the junkyard, I felt how loose that was. These ones are definitely on the verge of dry rotting. So I want to put a little cellophane, and then I'm gonna put on the hose clamp. I think that'll stop the bleeding if that's where the bleeding is coming from. I'll probably try to do one on the top too if that's leaking. The other thing I noticed is that although I loosened up the power steering and got rid of some of the noise, the power steering pump, I think I loosened it up too much because I'm hearing a little belt squeal, so which means that the belt's slipping. So I want to tighten it up just a tiny little bit more so that I don't hear that squeal anymore upon turning the wheel too hard. So that's my goal for right now. I'm gonna get after it, and then after this, if it all goes well, I'll head up for a test drive. Let's get at it. All right guys, I believe I got the power steering fluid leak. I tightened up the pump, I think I showed you. So this is what I ended up doing. I put on 2 new hose clamps on the top and bottom, and I took the old hose clamps and put them around basically the farthest part of where that hose attaches. It usually has like a ridge right at the end. I basically put those clamps right around that ridge for hopefully to seal it up better. But as I'm seeing right now, I think the power steering fluid is leaking through a crack in the hose. So anyway, I think that's gonna wrap up this episode of Burnt Premiere, guys. I hope you have a wonderful, much better week than I have for the rest of your week. And I'll see you next time. Later, guys.